Today's guest is Pretoria local and influential coach in the cricketing world. He's the head coach of the Titans ladies cricket team and one of the main coaches on the popular YouTube channel Coach Crick 11. Ladies and gentlemen, Byron Fraser.
How's it, guys? Nice to be here.
Nice to have you.
Yeah, thank you very much for being on, Byron. We like interesting guests and you're an interesting person.
Well, let's hope.
Yeah,
let's see how it goes.
Will you tell us a little bit about your upbringing and how you got into cricket, Byron?
So, like I said there, I'm a Pretoria local, born and bred here. My uncle played pretty good cricket back in the day. So from when I was tall enough to walk, I started playing cricket, started watching cricket. Always loved the sport. I mean, when I got to grade 3, we had to do one of those stupid presentations about, listen, what do you want to be when you're older? And I got pads and stuff. I came there, I was like, I'm going to be a professional cricketer. And the love has never died. It really has never died. So
That's awesome.
I just stayed watching cricket. I played cricket as much as I could. And I'm glad to still be in the game because it's a game that I love and it's brought me a lot of joy in my life. It's taught me a lot, but it's something that I'm hoping I can do for a long time still.
Yeah. Now obviously we are going to talk about your coaching career, but let's quickly stop and chat about your playing career. Tell us a bit about, what medals and trophies are on the wall and where did cricket take you as a player?
I'm not what you term the most talented off the bat, but I'm a hard-working cricketer. So I've put a lot of work into my game and learning about myself and how to do things as well as I can as a cricketer. So I went through high school. I never played first team in high school, Pretoria Boys. Played second.
So sorry, so just where did you go to school?
Boys, this one's for you, Tyron.
just a bit of back. This was chatted about before. And then straight out of school I went into a cricket academy, which was at that time called the PHSOB Cricket Academy, with Mark Charlton and Chris Cardosa, obviously fantastic coaches in their own right. And then it eventually transitioned beyond that, and then I started playing club cricket. I coached Irene for a bit, played player coach, and I think one of the biggest accolades I got my first season there, I was player of the year for the first team.
Well done.
And then my second season there, I got umpire's captain of the year because I captained as well. So those were two big achievements. And then in the COVID year of cricket, we actually won the league. So that was quite nice to see. And I enjoy playing cricket. I've played for a while. I still think I'm good enough to play at least Prem. So I'll keep playing for as long as I think that the guys behind me can't overtake me. Because if they can't oust me out of the team, how they're going to oust a Titan out of the Titans, because that should ultimately be how they go about it.
Yeah.
I think competition for places, as long as it's healthy, it's always good for a team dynamic and for the individuals in those positions.
100%.
So I'll keep playing as long as I can. Obviously now coaching's taken more of a front seat in my life, so I play a lot less. I've only played 3 games this season, but I enjoyed every game I played. So I'm going to keep playing for as long as I can, as long as my knees allow me to play, and go from there.
Yeah. No, it's cool. You mentioned hard work as well, and that's something that stands out because you can get talent. You can have people being forced to play the game. But you mentioned 2 things which I personally love: is you enjoy the game and you want to work hard and you can work hard. So that's awesome. I mean, as long as you enjoy it and you enjoy the hard work, the game will always be fun.
No, definitely. If you're working hard and you're starting to make runs or take wickets, the game instantly becomes more fun.
Yeah.
So the work behind the scenes actually becomes a lot more worthwhile, and you can see it in a practical situation, so in a game situation. And winning a game for your team, there's no better feeling than that at the end of the day.
Yeah, 100%. Coaching, Byron, is something that I think that it's an underrated skill to coach, to impart your knowledge onto someone else. Will you please just explain how you got into coaching? Where did the bug bite, and where do you think coaching? Where are you going with coaching, if I may ask you?
So always loved the sport. Always loved sport in general, but cricket's always been my favourite. I won't deny that. And straight out of the academy year, Mark Charlton came to me and he said, listen, they need another coach at the academy. Would I be keen to do that as well? So I was like, I think it's quite a good opportunity. It will allow me to play a bit more cricket and focus on that as well, instead of doing other things which would take more time out of my day.
Yeah.
And then they assisted me with getting my level 1 and then my level 2. So I coached at the academy for a while. And then as soon as I got my level 2, an opportunity opened up at Toronto Metro Cricket Club. They're not a club anymore. They've sort of fought in with some other clubs, but I got an opportunity to do 2 seasons there. And that was my first foray into Premier League coaching, which helped me a lot. So I had the academy and that at the same time. And then Greg Smith was one of the consultants at the academy. And then he got an opportunity to be the director of cricket at St Albans. So he had to give up the Irene post. And then he said, I must apply. And he put in a good word for me. And from there, I've never really looked back. I've enjoyed the coaching there. And being able to work with different ages, different people, and more recently, the 2 different, the male and the female space, has taught me a lot more about how to approach different situations, and also a lot of different skills and patience that goes with it, because each age group and men and women, there are different skills that need to be imparted. Yeah. And that keeps making you have to grow as a coach to know how to work what's best for the individuals in that space and give them their best opportunity to succeed. So as a coach, you can never be happy with what you know. Because as soon as you think you know everything, that's when people start catching up to you and you start falling behind and you start falling off the pace. So I think that constant willingness to keep learning and learn from other sports and bring it into cricket and see what it can do is something that keeps me driving forward and keeps helping me grow, because the better coach I become, I firmly believe the better person I'll become as well.
Yeah.
So then I try and link that up as much as possible and use that to keep growing me going forward.
Yeah. So there's a constant growth in learning, I think, and that was perfect.
Yeah. Now, obviously, you speak about growing and learning, and I think coaching people in person, that's one thing, and I think that's also kind of, if you're an extrovert, you like that. To coach online like you do with Coach Creek 11, that's kind of a next level skill, and I think that contributes to your growth. So tell us a bit about where Coach Creek 11 came from. Where did the idea, was it kind of like a Friday night braai with a few beers idea, or was it something to say, listen, let's grow our coaching expertise and let's grow our coaching reach with this program? Because I mean, you are doing very, very well with it. So just tell us a bit about that and how it came about, and what was the idea behind Coach Creek 11?
So Zen and I just got to talking, and we've been friends for a very long time. And we both said, like, listen, we've got the skill set. We both love cricket. He's a level 2 coach. I'm a level 3 coach. We've played a lot together, so we understand each other really, really well. And we said, let's try and do something in cricket. So the initial plan was to use YouTube as a funnel to an online business and then go from there.
Yeah.
And it was tough. I'm sure you guys know YouTube. It's tough at the start. It takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of grind. Everyone just looks at it. Oh, it's so easy. It's not. It's really not.
So please like and subscribe.
I didn't think I'd be used as a segue, but yes. So it takes a lot of time, and people are like, oh, we can just it's not the case. You can't just throw a camera on someone and expect to do well.
Yeah.
So we just went through it, and we were just putting videos out, and eventually we had monetization. And that first little bit, you're like, wow, we're actually going to get some money from YouTube.
Yeah.
And then after that, we decided, well, we need to be consistent and we need to keep posting things, and we need to find ways to keep people invested in the channel and invested in what we're doing. So we just kept trying to find ways to keep doing it. And then with that, we had a silent partner that came on board, assisted us with getting all of our equipment that we needed. On top of that, we had a sponsor come on board that helped us with our cricketing equipment, which was quite nice, because at the end of the day, it's quite pricey if you have to buy your own cricketing equipment, and bats tend to break if you hit a lot of balls, and we have to hit a lot for these videos.
Yeah.
So we did all of that, and we just kept grinding it out, and it got to a point where you could make a living off of it.
Yeah.
So we're going to keep pushing through it and trying to get that. And then the day came when we got to 100k subs, and you get that silver plaque with your business's name on.
Yeah. Goals. And hashtag goals.
And it's such a great feeling when you get that, because it shows that everything you've done is worth it.
Yeah.
And so we got that, and that just sort of reinvigorated us to keep pushing harder and keep driving forward. And at the same time, cricket coaching, there's only so much you can do. So finding new ways to do things helps me as a coach with all my other coaching avenues, because you find different ways to teach different skills. Because what works for me might not work for you and might not work for you. So you have to find different ways and different reference points for every different player. And doing this, you can't do the same 3 drills every video. People would click off really quickly. So it drives you to think outside the box sometimes. And when you're thinking outside the box, sometimes you find things that you would never have thought of otherwise. And then you use that going forward. And like I said, I love cricket, I love coaching, so I don't think there's anything else I'd rather be doing right now.
And that's amazing to see. You're so open to growth. I mean, you're a level 3 coach. I mean, and it takes effort to get there. And a lot of people would say, okay, I've got that certificate on the wall, I'm already a head coach somewhere, I'm gonna lay back, enjoy it, and you know, do this. What I hear from you is this: every time you hit a new milestone, you celebrate it and you go yes, but then you continue going to the next one. And I mean, that's an invaluable skill or mindset to have.
I think I've been fortunate. My mentors that I've had, so Chris Cardoso, Mark Charlton and Greg Smith, they've all been fantastic in the sense where when they've gotten to a point, they keep working harder. Mark Charlton's now the Northern Cape Heat coach, and he is probably the best that I've seen at trying to bring new information in and really grow. So I use that as a measuring stick for myself to try and grow, because when you've got people like that, it's great. And then Chris Cardoso now, he does a lot of facilitation for courses. So he comes up with different ideas and different ways to approach coaching. So I have a lot of chats with them. And if I'm ever in a bind, I'll chat to them or chat to people close to me and get their opinions as well. And then try and use that with my own opinion and then try and work what would be best in that situation. So I think as a coach, you can never be too proud to ask for help. Because at the end of the day, it's not about me, it's about what's best for the players. And if I can get the best out of the players, it will get the best for me at the same time. And then it's trying to find that balance all the time to try and get the best out of each and every player.
That's awesome. The first time you mentioned something there about not every player is the same, and you can't do the same 3 drills in every video. People will unclick very quickly, but and that's so true, because I remember the first time I was like in a rut in cricket, I think it was grade 9, end of grade 9, maybe early grade 10, was when I saw other kids in where we were getting coached, we all doing the same thing, same drills, and it's repetitive all the time. Yes, at that age you do need, you know, you have to hit the ball a certain way all the time, but sometimes you just need something different, even if it's just a fielding drill. Just go, today we're not touching a bat, we're doing fielding, or you need that. And I think that you are correct in the sense that ask other coaches, what are you guys doing? Why there's a player here that's a little bit in a rut, what should I do with him? And so our next question, and we spoke a little bit about this beforehand as well. So you coach the ladies team, and one of our ambassadors are Sunailis. And
Hashtag please come on the podcast.
And I just want to know how is she in a how is she in a team setup? How is it to coach her? Because she is an amazing player, and the input you've had in her career, I just want to know, how has that been?
Sunai's a fantastic person. I really enjoy working with her. She always comes with a great work ethic. She's very good in a team environment. She's always keen to assist players around her, to a point where sometimes she's like another coach in a system, because she's been around and she's been with a lot. The input I've had on her career, you'd probably have to ask her. So I think that would be a fair way to look at it. But working with her in a session, you can be really focused and you can go really high skill. And we've done a lot of sessions where we focus on a skill and focus on another thing. But what she does is she comes into a session and she's really aware of what she's trying to get out of anything. So if she's not too sure what she'd want to do, we'd have a chat prior to her coming to the session. But in general, she's really good with coming there and saying, I want to focus on this, I want to work on this. And then obviously lately her performance has been fantastic. She's been really, really good with that. And I'm hoping that she can keep kicking on and hopefully represent going even further into those international leagues, because the talent is definitely there.
Yes.
It's just now that she needs to get picked up more so she can show it even more.
Yeah.
And she is a fantastic person to have in the team because she'll do all the graphs she can for the team. She's a fantastic fielder. She does offer a bit with the ball. She bats really well. She works hard in the middle. And just from helping people, she's always willing to do that. And for your guys' brand, I think there's very few people that would be better at doing something like that. And yeah, I just think, and I hope that she's got the potential to play in those leagues and show the rest of the world what she can do on a more consistent basis.
100%. 100%.
Yeah, no, it's an exciting prospect, and I think I'm just going to jump a bit because you mentioned that, so we're going to get back to the other questions, but I want to jump to this one specifically because in the office, when we're not grafting, we have SuperSport on with cricket, and we want to be involved. We want to be up to speed with everything that's going on in cricket. So we do watch a lot of ladies cricket. So when it comes to ladies cricket, what do you think we still need, the game needs, and what are the growth points that we can work on to get the game where it needs to be? I mean, obviously we are at a good place, and I think if we look 10 years back and you would have said ladies cricket, it would have been like, okay, now it's like, whoa, there's a women's Big Bash league and that's exciting, and there's these international games are exciting. So it's kind of next level, but like I've learned to know you in this 20 minutes, you always want more growth, and I know you obviously are thinking about growth in the game of in the ladies game. So what do you think are the growth points that we still need to get where we need to?
So it's an interesting question, and I'm going to answer it in a little bit of a roundabout way. 10 years ago, you couldn't make a living out of women's cricket, or very few could. I think there were 6 contracts in 2013.
Wow.
And that was
in the Titans ladies.
Proteas.
At the Proteas, not even Titans ladies.
And then it changed. And now this season, it's been professionalised. So
awesome.
the Div 1, the top 6 ladies teams provincially have been professionalised. So now there's 11 contracts per team. And the contracts are decent. You can live off of those contracts.
Yeah.
So that was a big step in the right direction. And if we're looking at the scores that have been made in the games and the quality of the cricket that has been played post-professionalisation, which has only just started, there's already been an improvement in that game. And then a couple of ladies, we've just recently had Elizabeth Marks from Titans go up and get a call up for the Proteas. A couple of injuries did assist, but she got game time and she did pretty well.
Yeah.
But it's also because she's been able to work consistently more often. Whereas in the
focus
past,
can be on cricket.
when in the past it was amateur and at best semi-pro, and you'd get 2 practices a week because people work and have to study and have to do all of that. Now that you've got 11 contracts, we practice 4 or 5 times a week, depending if the game's in the weekend or not.
Yeah.
And then it's a lot more focused because you can get so much more done. So I think CSA and the Department of Sports and Rec have done fantastic work in pushing that over the line.
Yeah.
So that was the real first thing. Obviously the World Cup last year was fantastic. It really helped. It drove a lot of people to watch the game. Yeah. I mean, having Newland sold out for a final of women's cricket was incredible, and that just showed what we could do. Yeah. Going forward, we were fortunate enough that Titans backed us, really backed us, and on the 3rd of December, so not last weekend, the weekend before, we played against Western Province, and they went full out. They did proper marketing, ticketed the game, and was the first domestic women's game in the country to ever be ticketed where people had to pay.
What?
So our CEO always says the difference between professionalisation and not is it's not that you get paid to play, it's that people come to pay to watch you play.
Yeah.
So that was the first step in that process.
Yeah.
So I think if we can get more of that done, I mean, next year we've got 2 curtain raisers where we play before men's games.
Nice.
So the ones we're playing against Free State, and it's here at SuperSport Park, then the Titans play after us. And then in April we play Newlands, and then the Cobras play against, I think it's the Dolphins after us. So that's already driving more people to watch. And the more people that can watch and see that the skill level is there and what women's cricket has to offer means more people come in.
Yeah.
And then the more eyes we can bring to the game means more we can keep growing the game.
Yeah.
And the more sponsors can come on board, and the more people's lives we can change for the better with sport. And I think most people, when they're younger, that play a little bit of sport, would love to have a career in sport in the future.
Yeah.
I know I was one of them, and obviously I'm not playing cricket and getting paid for that, but I'm still in the game, which makes me happy. So, and it's also important to realise that playing is not the only profession that you can have. There's coaching, there's umpiring, there's scoring, there's so many other things, there's management. So there's a lot of opportunities that go within the game that you can still stay in. It's just understanding that they're there. And if you love a sport, you might as well stay in it for as long as possible. They say, if you love what you do, you never work a day in your life. So
definitely.
100%.
Find what you can do there.
Yeah. No, definitely.
Byron, if there's 3 things you would like to say to that kid that wants to be a professional cricketer, what are those 3 things that you'd like to teach that young Byron?
The young Byron.
If it was, let's say it's a 12-year-old Byron and you get to spend a minute with him, what would you say? 3 things you would say to him.
Nike, no. The first thing is, but it wouldn't really be to me because I'm actually happy with how everything's turned out. I can't say I'm unhappy that I didn't get to play. I had a couple of injuries that probably affected my chances, but the first thing that I'd say to most youngsters is stick with it a bit longer than you think you have to. I mean, another one of our ambassadors was Don Ferreira. Look how late he made it into it, and now he's playing Proteas. So sometimes just stick with it that little bit longer, because people want to make it at 20, 21, 22, but you don't really know your game at that age. Very few players do. I've met very few players at 21 that know their game so well that they consistently can perform at the highest level, where there's so much scrutiny on you and all the media and all the videos that with analysts. It's tough. So stick with it a bit longer till you know your game and give yourself a shot there. And then just keep pushing through. If you enjoy something, don't give up on it. It's not worth it, because don't listen to what other people have to say. Peer pressure is a stupid thing, really. So if you enjoy something, just stick with it. Other people don't have to tell you what to do. And why take away your joy out of life just because someone says it's not worth the time? Because the biggest thing when it comes to anything professional is sometimes you have to make sacrifices to make it happen. So sacrifice the small things for the big thing, if that makes sense. So sometimes you might have to wake up that little bit earlier if you want to still pursue cricket, but you have to work at the same time. Wake up that hour earlier, get the run in, go to the gym, do it, because at the end of the day, even if you don't make it, in your heart you know that you've given yourself the best chance ever. But at the same time, you're also becoming a better person, because you're teaching yourself discipline, determination, and those are characteristics that you're going to use not just in sport. You can use it in life, you can use it in business, and use that to really grow yourself going forward.
Thank you very much, Byron.
So I wish you were my coach.
This
few minutes that I've just chatted with you, I mean, I'm so inspired, and so my hat goes off to you if I was wearing one. Really, I mean,
I'd have the head on though.
So I think that's the biggest thing I picked up from this. So just thank you for sharing that insight, and I think that's why you're making such a difference where you are, because your heart is clearly in it. I mean, this is 15 minutes that we've been chatting, and I can already see that. So and that's also maybe a lesson for everyone else. If I can share a lesson, is put your heart in it, because that obviously shows the passion behind it. Now we started a cool tradition, we think it's cool, where we asked the previous guest on our podcast a question to ask the next guest. So our previous guest was Henku from Extra Cover Cricket. He does our back refurbs.
He does my bats as well.
He did the bat here behind us.
Don't worry, he does my bats as well.
Oh, nice. So, shout out to Henku, Extra Cover, lekker. He asked, what was the funniest moment in your life? So just generally, something funny, something silly, not serious, just what was the funniest moment that you can think of?
That's very obscure.
Not you, Henku, the question.
So
Henku as well.
You can expose a couple of people with the answer now.
I don't know, nothing's come to mind because it's right on the spot here.
So while you think of it, we have another tradition, is we like to give gifts away. So we've got a little gift for you. It says Titans on the side, and it's a nice cap for you, which you can wear while coaching. So that's just something for us, from us to say thank you for being on the podcast.
No stress.
It's a nice little gift for you.
So one of the funniest things. And it is cricket related, which is actually quite cool. We're playing a game. It was my first season at RNE, and it involves Zendon, so it actually works out quite nicely. We're playing against CBC. Lost the toss on a green top, but I mean green top, overcast, ball is hooping everywhere. Opening batter next off, Zendon goes in at 3. Walks to the other opening batter, and he's like, no, the guy only swings it away. From you, swings away. Yeah. That's all. Guy releases the ball, Zendon goes in the big leave. Ball comes back, hits him straight on the pad, straight in front of the middle. The umpire even laughed at him as he stuck him. So Zendon walks off, but it was one of those, I was next in. As he got hit on the pad, it's one of those, you pick up your helmet, you put your helmet on, before the umpire does anything, you put it down because you just know.
Yeah.
The ball rolls straight back to the bowler. After the game, we had fines, we called the umpire into fines to give us there I was, and he's just like, oh man. It was middle. I don't know what you're doing. He's like, you said it only went out. So it was quite an entertaining day just to watch someone that is as talented as Zendon just get it completely wrong.
Yeah.
But obviously the advice wasn't perfect, but it was still quite entertaining.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks for sharing that with us. So we'll get your question offline, and then we'll ask it in the next episode. Thank you so much for being on. If you can think of a question now, you can ask it. But
who's the next guest?
You're not allowed to know. That's the trick. You're not allowed to know who the next guest is, so you can ask a general question. Okay. Maybe it's Alicia Keys, or maybe it's Barack Obama. We don't.
Maybe it's Elon Musk.
Maybe Elon Musk
on X.
Okay, let me think of your question. I'll give it to you.
Okay, we'll do it offline. Byron, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, guys.
We're looking forward to seeing you on the pitch and off the pitch. Thanks for your time. Appreciate it.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Cheers.